Bordeaux gives Sarries another hiding as they storm into the quarterfinals. My name is Mark. Let's talk rugby. Bordeaux are all over Sarries at the start of this game, but for one reason or another, they can't quite get over. First of all, they got a turnover and kicked the ball ahead. BLBRE almost gets there to ground it for a try, and he basically gets there just in time to bounce the ball on the line, behind the try line, but on the edge. So there's no try there, but early signs of danger for Saracens. They then continue to apply pressure. They're on the Saracens line, and they drive over, but then we have a Timo check on the grounding, and we see that they've actually lost the ball as they go to ground. There's an arm underneath there, and then the ball squirms out. Great defense from Daly there, to prevent what looked like it was a certain try before we started seeing the replays. More danger then for Sarries as Bordeaux attack again, but there's a forward pass that brings them back. Lewington then kicks a fantastic 50-22 to get Sarries the first real piece of territory in the game. They attack from the line out, and a grubber through just evades Lewington as they get in behind. Bordeaux then win a penalty as Lamotte gets over the ball. They get over the line again as Pinot does well coming into midfield. That one where he runs across the front of the defence and then finds Bielberry, who goes over on the left. We have another Timo check though for obstruction from Cinti. Tries roulette as he takes out two defenders. Back for a penalty for Bordeaux. They go to the corner, but a big hit from Billy Vanapola dislodges the ball, and it's another let off for Sarries. Bordeaux finally gets something onto the scoreboard as Luku slots a penalty for 3-0, but it's scant reward for their dominance so far. Another Bordeaux score then gets chalked off for a slap forward. Crowd growing frustrated. At that stage, you're thinking that's probably good for Sarries. They're only 3 points behind, and the crowd are getting a little bit restless. We then have, then fortunes really turn against them. You have a deliberate knock-on from Itoji leads to a penalty. Timo intervenes then and says, there's it looks like there's a line break at least on, if not a try. So he gets a yellow card and 10 minutes in the bin. About 5 minutes before the break, I think. Bordeaux then go up the line. Sarries nick the ball, but it goes loose on the Bordeaux side. They shift it, and Burros with a nice arcing run and a step, he gets close. Then Garcia goes over to score. Luku converts for 10-0. That was the score to break. Being in the second half then, Samu gets pinged for not rolling away, but Alex Good hits the post with the kick from the tee, and it doesn't go over. Bordeaux then come forward again. Great carry from Samu. They then get it wide to Tetafu, who flirts with the touchline before offloading at the back as he goes into touch near the corner flag. It comes off a Sarries' knee, and Garcia dives on the loose ball to score. Luku converts for 17-0, and it's already looking like a long way back for Sarries from here. Sarries then have a decent period and are attacking into 22. They create some space out wide, and then a pass is fired out to Lewington, but he leaves the ball behind him. It was a tough take, but if he'd held it on, he was over in the corner because there wasn't really any cover out there. Bordeaux then strike off a dominant scrum on the edge of the Sarries 22. Luku and Garcia combine to get Pernod away, and he puts the Porter over under the sticks, and they just made it look easy, just tore the Saracen defence apart with that move. Converted by Luku for 24-0. Then a Sarries attack breaks down, ball goes to deck. BLBRE kicks the ball through. It pops up for him. He gathers it and goes in under the post. Luku makes it 31-0 with a conversion. And then after that, then really well worked move, and they get Deport there over again. Great hands and running lines in that move, right in front of the Sarries defense, close to the line. And then they just take out so many defenders that they've got 2 or 3 players who could have finished off the move. It's converted for 38-0. Sarries then do manage to get Lewington over to score to avoid being nilled. Good misses the conversion. It's 38-5. Then there's still time for another BL Baudi score as he flies down the wing on turnover ball. Garcia's conversion goes over off the post, 45-5. Then Sarries do get a second consolation score as Willis goes over from close range. And then Good runs down the clock with the conversion to make sure there's no chance of conceding any more points. And the final score is 45-12. So, a real hiding for Sarries and Bordeaux, just showing that, they have what it takes as well to produce in the knockout stage. Because sometimes we see kind of, surprise packages, teams doing well in the pool stages, then, the pressure comes on a little bit in the knockout stages and they can't deliver. But this one is another hiding for Sarries. They put 55 points on them. I think it was 55-15, right, in the pool stages, and 45-12 here as well. So, as I said in commentary, scoring 100 points against Sarries, and it just shows, well, a couple of things: how much Bordeaux have risen, and how much Sarries have fallen as well. And it's kind of like two teams, passing each other, going on very different trajectories really at this stage. But we're going to have a look at the stats and then we'll talk about the teams a little bit more after that. So let me pull them up here. Let me see. There we go. Okay. So first of all, 6 tries to 2, and Sarries were lucky to get 2 in the end. Dominant display by Bordeaux, and it just looks so easy for them really in the end. And Sarries, although they kind of kept in there for a while, once the first couple of tries went over, you knew it was going to be a long afternoon for them. On attack, 486 meters made to 334. Just Bordeaux finding space all over the place. Clean breaks shows that as well. 10-3 in their favor. Defenders beating 39-18. They just had Sarries' number really in terms of reading their defense. Passes 153-116, and then territory was 54-46. So kind of even there, but still Bordeaux just did too much damage really when they got into position. Tackles made then 91-136. Tackle percentage 84 for Bordeaux isn't the best, but it's certainly better than 77% from Sarries. Turnovers won 5-6. So Sarries winning more turnovers, but not really affecting the flow of the game or the outcome. Lineouts won then 14-13, 93% for Bordeaux and 100% for Sarries. So no real disruption to either lineout. Scrums won then 8-6. Bordeaux on top in the scrums, well, 100% for them, just 86% for Sarries. Kicking then 29 kicks to 28, but only 1 kick difference, but 1,079 meters to 764. So Bordeaux, one of the teams that kicked the most, or the furthest, should I say, in Europe, and they showed it again today. And again, it comes back to this whole thing of people always saying, that kicking leads to boring games, and it's just not true. Bordeaux kick a lot, and they play very exciting rugby as well. The kicking gets them into positions so that they can go to that exciting play. And you see it all the time. You see it from the French national team as well. We see it from the Scots too. And a lot of teams that also like to throw the ball around like to kick too to get themselves in position. Retained kicks then 3-1 in favour of Bordeaux. Onto the breakdown then. No stats for the ruck. It always takes a long time to get those there. Maul success 75% to 100%, but Mauls didn't have a huge bearing on the game. Penalties conceded then 9 for Bordeaux, so staying in single figures is decent. 11 for Saracens, and then that 1 yellow card to Itoji as well. So we start with the losing team, Saracens. It really felt like even through the pool stages, even though they did make it like out of the pool, it felt like this was the kind of end of the road for this Saracens team. It feels like they need a rebuild there now, and I know there are some players leaving at the end of the season, but whether they can do that rebuild over, it was going to take just good recruitment in the off season, or is it going to be like a 2, 3, 4 season job to do that as well? Because we know they're still doing well in in the Premiership. They're still competitive there, but they're not right up at the cutting edge either there. So it shows, I think, when they come into European competition that they're that step below now, and it takes more than just 1 or 2 players in your squad, I think, to make that step back up. They've got to find like when they had the likes of Farrell, Itoji, etc. They're still there, but those guys coming in and having impact to drive the team on, they need to find players of that quality to come into the team, and more than just a couple as well. So it could be a long time before we see Saracens really at the cutting edge, but they've still shown that they can at least get out of the pool stages. Now, whether they can do that next season or not is still going to have to be seen. But that's them for the moment. Bordeaux, they were a surprise package in the pool stage, but this performance, they did it already against Saracens, so nobody would really be too surprised by it. They now go into a quarterfinal against Harlequins, with both teams looking at a chance to get into a semi-final, and 2 teams with very little European pedigree. But it's always good, I think, to see new teams coming in there. We've seen kind of the same old faces, as it were, in the semi-finals, and over the last couple of seasons, and a final as well, obviously being between the same 2 teams. That won't be true this year, because Leinster and La Rochelle, potentially, if Leinster can get through, that is, will face each other in the quarterfinals anyway. So it means that at least one of the 2 finals from last year is not going to make it beyond the quarterfinals. So if it feels like now it could be a year for a new name on the trophy, and Bordeaux are certainly putting themselves forward to be that team. Now, doing it in the last 16 is amazing. We've seen teams perform that that way previously, but it's as the games get tighter now. Quarterfinal against Quins. I think Quins are good opposition for Bordeaux, honestly, and I expect them to win that. So then when they get into the semi-final, it depends who they're going to face in the semi-final, and the semi-final then is going to be a tighter affair, and it's about then not just like running up a score when you get a chance. It's about having maybe only a couple of chances and having to take every single one of them to win. We saw today at the start of the game where they had that period where they couldn't take their chances, whether it was knock-ons or knock-ons or forward passes or whatever, or a little bit off in accuracy. That could cost you a semi-final, a period like that in a game. So there's still work to be done, but got to be on a massive high now after this. And I think if you're a Bordeaux fan, you're not looking that far ahead anyway. You're just thinking that was an amazing win, and should be rightly celebrated. I think Bordeaux fans and rugby fans should be delighted with this result, because we saw just scintillating rugby from Bordeaux when they did get things right, and we want to see more of that in the competition. So hopefully when they play Harlequins as well, two teams that love to run the ball. It should be a ding-dong affair, and possibly the one of the games of the round. That's fingers crossed for that.